we just watched the new Hellboy movie, The Crooked Man.
Yes.
This was the South African premiere, released by Gravel Road, and they gave us a nice bunch of tickets for our Horrorfesters.
Yeah.
And there were quite a few Hellboy fans in there, comic book fans.
Yeah, and they're also knowledgeable. It's amazing.
Yeah, more so than us, because we haven't read any of the Hellboy comics. We've seen the earlier 3 movies.
I do find it very interesting talking to the experts.
The 2 Guillermo del Toro movies are just so vivid in the way he made it. It's with Ron Perlman. Lots of people, they can't sort of detach themselves from that.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought that I'm not sure who portrayed him in this film, but he did a fantastic job.
The entire cast is quite unknown to me.
Okay.
They might be very known to other people in different areas, but I mean, I didn't recognize any name actors, but they were all very good. And
yes, definitely.
And they did it well. But yeah, so I mean, this was the premiere. It releases on the 27th of September. And we also did this as a kind of a kickstart for our Celluloid Film Festival.
Yes.
Celluloid kind of flowed out of our Horrorfest, which started in 20 years ago. This year is our 20th Horrorfest.
Sure.
And 5 years into it, we just got so many more like science fiction and fantasy type movies, which it wasn't exactly horror, sort of kind of horror, but then we decided let's just start a new film festival.
Yeah, you could create a brand new
focuses on sci-fi, fantasy and animation.
Yes.
So that is kicking off on the 26th of September.
Yes.
At the Roxy in Woodstock.
If you know the Roxy in Cape Town.
Yeah, on Donkey
in
Square.
Gardens, yeah.
It is.
It's the sister or the brother.
It's the owner there, as well as the guys from New Hero, Keaton and Scotty, and Keaton's also known as Grimehouse, DJ and producer, and they do all kinds of interesting stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so they opened a club, and we decided, hey, let's do something interesting. Let's have the Celluloid Festival there.
Yes.
And we won't be streaming anything this year, so it's strictly in-person screenings at the Roxy.
Yeah.
Includes a whole bunch of interesting science fiction, fantasy, animation subjects, short films, feature films.
Always such an incredible collection of films.
And Friday the 27th is a special 16mm film screening of The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yes.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
Classic sci-fi movie from 1951. And in just a month after that is the 20th Horrorfest Film Festival.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's a busy time for us. So I don't know if I'm going to get time to edit this thing. Maybe this is just going to be warts and all, straight through, no cuts, no flubs or any crap removed.
Then we better be concise.
I'll try my best.
Yes.
Okay, so that out the way. So just, remember the Horrorfest. And there's a teaser for the movies you can see at the Celluloid Film Festival.
Yeah, and if you like watching our videos, like and subscribe.
Please, it's easy. And so Horrorfest got some cool movies from all over the world, some classics as well. Live soundtrack, Rocky Horror Picture Show. The live soundtrack to a classic silent film that is not for Rocky Horror. Audience participation screening for the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
So that's all happening between 30 October and 10 November.
And that's always that's a much loved event.
Yeah. But before Horrorfest, now it is 26th of September until the 6th of October.
Yes.
So do Celluloid, take a couple of weeks off, do Horrorfest.
Yeah, support.
God damn it. Righty, Hellboy. This is the fourth movie, unrelated. The first 2 was Del Toro, like I said. Second one was Neil Marshall, who did The Descent and Doomsday and a couple of cool movies like that. It was kind of out of the blue, and everyone, I think it's David Harbour, the guy who plays the cop in Stranger Things.
Oh, I love him.
He was the third Hellboy. Well, the third movie, not the third.
Oh, wow.
Didn't you know that?
No.
Okay. And he did a good job. I don't know this. Sorry, guy, wherever you are, but here's your name. The current Hellboy.
He did a fantastic job.
He was good. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, obviously the makeup and the look. I mean, Hellboy is this kind of demon. He chops off and files his horns down.
Yeah.
But do yourself a favor. Watch the early 3 movies before you watch this one.
Yeah.
Although if you didn't, there's lots of backstory that get to know the character. He's like a wise ass, and it's a whole lot of stuff that we're not going to get into. So it's handy for you just to watch the early Hellboy movies and then watch this one. But this one is more of a horror flavored.
Yeah, which I actually enjoyed. I mean, I have seen the Hellboy films. I've not seen all of them, I think.
I must say, I can remember moments.
Yes.
I mean, it's been across quite a couple of years.
Years, yes.
Several.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it is a vivid character. But to get into the details of the storylines, I can't really tell you. But you do remember Hellboy very well.
Yes.
And you either love him or you don't. And he's a cool character. It's kind of like this other comic book character called Lobo. He's this wise ass guy. I think it was that linked to 2000 AD comics? But yeah, anyway, I digress. So Hellboy is originally a comic book by Mike Mignola. And he wrote this one, and he claims that this is the closest to the way he envisioned a movie version of his creation.
Yeah.
So, like I told Sonia, it was like Stephen King didn't like Stanley Kubrick's interpretation of The Shining, although I feel that is the best Stephen King linked movie.
Yeah, but it's so not, the sentiment is not...
Yeah, but now in this case, Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy, feels that this is the closest to how he wanted it to be, which is good to keep in mind
it's
when you watch this.
Yeah, I mean, a creator of a story, I think it's fantastic if they can actually eventually really see it the way that they've always sort of envisioned it.
But also, if you go watch the early movies, you'll find out why his hand looks like that. Yeah, all the little kind of details on who and what he is.
Yeah.
It's 1959, and they're this paranormal unit. Hellboy is part of it. There's some characters you'll see in the early one, not in here, just him and a female character, and they're on a train transporting something. I guess we could say it's a spider, but not your average spider. And things literally go off the rails.
Yeah, literally.
And they end up in this Appalachian forest where things are kind of strange. It just seems like evil is just in everything.
Yeah, it's like a bog witch around every corner.
And they encounter these. They kind of encounter these random characters and sort of just immediately slot into their storyline, which is witchcraft and evil forces and occult.
One thing that I will say, and it's so personal to me that it won't bother other people, but my favorite creatures are always portrayed as such evil things, and I dislike that intensely.
Yeah, I mean spiders, crows, snakes. I mean, they just mentioned making a concoction of bats and stuff, and I just knew Sonia's. Yeah, it's. But then again, it kind of taps into those cliches.
No, completely, for sure.
But
that's what I'm saying. It's a personal thing. It's like the folklore thing is always like those things are always bad, connected to evil, unfortunately.
Yeah. But ignorance is ancient. So
no, absolutely.
What can you do?
Yeah.
But it was, like we mentioned, it was far more of a horror story.
Definitely.
Some interesting and cool scenarios, but they kind of, like I said, they get stuck into these other characters' storyline with the Crooked Man. Very
interesting character, I must say. Very interesting. And the way that he was, the actor that played him was brilliant. I was thinking Tom Waits would have done him that character justice, but the actor was fantastic.
But so they get sucked into basically fighting for their lives and all of that. and some interesting witch characters. It's got cool elements that all bind together to make for an entertaining movie. And
Yes.
lots of people are going to rip this because it's not Ron Perlman, it's not Del Toro directing it, and they will be ripping it because, as we know, it's far more profitable and get more reaction if you're negative about things. So we choose not to be negative.
No, and
when I watch a movie,
watch the film first before you have
for
something
sure.
to say.
Yeah. No, but what people do, but they watch it, but then they just cannot wait to rip it to pieces. So, obviously it doesn't have the kind of budget like the original two movies.
No.
But you don't need that because it's the character. It's more of a focused story.
Yes.
And more isolated. It's a darker story, and it has a darker look as well. So Big Red is kind of like washed out. He doesn't look as red as Ron Perlman did in the more bright kind of early movies.
It's all like everything is muted though, but that it suits the story.
Yeah.
It suits the whole vibe. And I think people should give it a chance before you.
But as I was watching it, I was thinking, man, they should have tried to get Mickey Rourke, huh?
Oh yes.
Fuck, that would have been good.
But I think he's too Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, but it would have been perfect. It was like was it Marv? What was his name in Sin City?
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot.
He would have been, unless they thought it would just be too close to that. But I just thought, his voice would have been fucking perfect.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Mickey's also, he's not young anymore. So, but I guess they could have doubled some of the action scenes for him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because there's it's quite action packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got all, obviously, and it's got sort of kind of wise ass humor in there because that's the Hellboy
But not
character.
overly, just enough.
Yeah, it's sort of wisecracks
In the right places.
dispersed evenly,
I
not constantly.
absolutely loved the preacher character. He was fantastic. I enjoyed him.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed it. Like I say, not everyone, but too many people are going to rip it off. And we spoke with some fans of the comic book, and they really enjoyed the way that they translated it into movie.
Yes.
So I can't argue with that.
No.
And I can't argue against. Was I entertained? Yes, I was.
Definitely.
Was I entertained that it is the best movie I've seen this year? No, but it was cool.
It was cool. It was dark. It was a horror. It was it was right. It was definitely the kind of thing that I like. I actually preferred this to the other Hellboys that I've seen.
I don't know. We should have. We didn't have time to go through them again, but
Yeah.
So, but score-wise, I think I'd give it a 6.
Oh, absolutely. No, me too.
As well.
Yeah.
Now, if we had a third person scoring it, a 6. We'd have 3 6s because Hellboy is a devil.
Be uber
after all.
evil.
A devil who actually wants to be human.
Yeah.
Very interesting character. Looking at the duality of
Yes.
humans and demons, and if you're a demonic human, half human, half demon with a witch mother. What's his father's a devil, his mother's a witch. He's like, but he's a human. It's
But he's such
it's a fascinating.
he gravitates to the purity of humanity almost, which is nice. Yes.
But it's
not that humanity is pure, but the one pure element that some humans do possess.
At least, I'm glad it's not a remake.
Yes.
Obviously, you can also say that sometimes they must just call it quits with sequels, but it's not like it's a sequel.
No.
There are so many I don't know how many comic books were created.
Yeah.
So there are so many stories,
and it stands on its own. I know I always say that, but it really does. It stands on its own. You do not have to see any other Hellboy movies. If you only see this one, it will make sense.
But if you want more the backstory on who and what he is, then it makes definitely more sense.
No, for sure. But they do delve a little bit into his origin.
People can never do these tight little roads.
Uber.
Sorry, you were saying?
No, they do delve a little bit into his origin.
Yeah,
More from his mother's side,
Yeah.
but I think that
Obviously, in the first one, you actually
if
see.
you've not seen a Hellboy before, at least that gives you sort of an idea where he was found, how he came to be. You will get an idea.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
But tell us which is your favorite Hellboy movie so far.
Yes.
And the second one actually stars your boyfriend, Luke Goss.
I'm sure Luke will beg to differ.
He was also in. She's an old Bros fan from the 80s.
Yes.
He was in two sequel. It was in the second Blade, which Guillermo del Toro directed, and the second. He's like this prince guy in the second Hellboy.
I remember him as this white character with the long blonde hair, but I cannot remember him as a vampire in Blade.
Yeah, it's like a bald grey guy's mouth opened like a.
Maybe because he was ugly. I didn't want to remember.
If you don't tell someone, hey, that's one of the guys from the pop group Bros.
I mean, I can normally
wouldn't know.
I can normally recognize him, but I probably did, but I probably just blocked it out of my mind.
I mean, it's been is it decades? Yeah, man, this was like early 2000s.
He's too gorgeous to be turned into such an ugly thing.
It was early 2000s, so that's ages ago. But yeah, we should maybe just revisit all of these again sometime down the line.
Yes.
Let us know which is your favorite Hellboy movie, if you have any. And if you're going to go watch this one, tell us how you feel it stacks up.
Yeah, and honestly, don't follow the sheeple.
Yeah, because it's some people just feel compelled to rip into things. The cost and the effort that goes into making these movies,
it's not nothing.
It's not just throwaway.
Jeez, it is. Yeah.
It's a freaking task. So yeah.
Now we're at the back of the Uber.
Ubers everywhere. Dude, no, it's a BM.
No, it's a BM. Oh.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's get on out of here.
Yes.
Get on to Celluloid Film Festival.
Like and subscribe,
support. The Horrorfest Film Festival. Join us for all our little things that we do. You'll enjoy it as well, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
Cool. Catch you later.